Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into, well, a really spectacular period. It's violent, political, but also incredibly aesthetic.
We're looking at these two huge powers, right? Sarantium glittering, maybe a bit chaotic.
Definitely chaotic. And then Bassanid, much more rigid, sort of austere.
And how their fates just get completely tangled up. We're talking succession crises, betrayal.
And some amazing stories of individuals caught in the middle, artists, survivors, a physician.
Yeah, the sources we're using today, they're narrative excerpts. They really drop you right into these life or death moments.
So our mission, if you will, is to kind of pull out the connections between these empires, these people.
And see how individuals navigate these, incredibly high stakes. You've got a doctor facing potentially a funeral pyre.
Wow.
And an artist who sees his life's work just ordered destroyed.
And it all happens when the thrones change hands, right?
Yeah.
That clash between ambition and, well, art, or maybe just survival.
Exactly. And the contrast between the two places is key. Bassanid, ruled by Shirvan, the King of Kings, thinks strict oaths, paranoid politics.
And that lovely tradition you mentioned, doctors getting burned alive if the king dies.
Right. A tough gig. Then you flip over to Sarantium, the imperial city of Jad.
Dominated by that massive building project, the Great Sanctuary.
Yeah, spiritually charged, but also just huge. And then there's the Hippodrome, the factions, the blues and greens, all that energy.
Fueled by gold, mosaics, ambition, and often violence.
Sarantium's Emperor Valerius II, he's obsessed with legacy, with building. Bassanid is Shirvan, he's more about internal stability, maybe some external expansion. The whole world feels like it's teetering.
Okay, so where do we start? The tension's building.
Let's start where it snaps. Not in the Golden City, Sarantium, but out near Bassanid, with a moment of real personal drama that kicks everything off.
All right, the stage is set. The stakes are incredibly high. Let's dive into the Bassanian court, this physician Rustem, and just how unsettling life is under the King of Kings.
Okay, so the spark hits near this fortress, Karakak.
Right.
King Shirvan of Bassanid is out hunting, and bam, he gets hit by an arrow, critically injured.
Now, in that world, a hunting accident, that's usually code, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The sources are very clear. It's the polite way, the standard way, to talk about an assassination attempt.
So the second the king is down, the political gears start grinding. Instantly.
Lethal intrigue. Because vulnerability in a king, that's blood in the water for ambitious sons, rival wives.
And Shirvan's top advisor, Vizier Mazandar, he gets this immediately. He doesn't wait around.
No hesitation. His action is swift, decisive, and frankly ruthless.
What does he do?
He orders Shirvan's 3 eldest sons, the ones who were traveling with the king, put under detention, or at least very close observation.
Okay, makes sense. Keep the potential rivals contained.
But he goes further. Back in the capital, Kabad, he puts their mothers under similar constraints.
Wow. Why the mother?
Mazinder's been around nearly 30 years. He knows grown sons get impatient, sure. But he also knows royal wives will do anything to secure their own son's path to the throne. Lethal maneuvering is expected.
So he's trying to shut down any chance of a quick coup before they even know if the king will survive.
Exactly. Cutting off the political angles immediately.
Yeah.
Stabilizing the situation through sheer control.
And it's into this pressure cooker that Rustem steps in. Rustem of Karakak.
Yeah, he's a local doctor, young, but very well respected, trained in Isfahani, so he's got good credentials.
Treats villagers, soldiers at the fortress. A pretty normal practice, relatively speaking.
Until he gets the summons, suddenly plucked out and thrown into the absolute heart of royal danger.
And you really need to grasp the risk here. For you listening, this isn't just a high-pressure medical case.
No, the risk is existential. It's absolute. The sources spell out this Basanian tradition.
The pyre thing.
The pyre thing. If the great king dies, Rustem and any other doctors attending him, they become honored mourners.
Which is a euphemism for
being burned alive on Shirvan's funeral pyre. Huge, massive pyre.
And this wasn't some secret clause. Doctors knew this going in.
Oh, yeah. It was the known, terrifying price tag attached to the potential rewards, the wealth, the status of serving the court.
So survival means being perfect, politically invisible, and just lucky.
Immensely lucky. And yet, Rustem, with this literally hanging over him, he pushes back.
How so?
Well, Vizier Mazandar wants to keep Prince Murash, one of the sons, and other courtiers in the room, watching, maybe influencing.
And Rustem says no.
Flat out refuses. It's an incredible moment, really, staring down the most powerful men in the kingdom.
What does he say?
Something like, Kill me now if you want, but I have to do this my way, the way I was trained.
Wow, he's demanding his professional space, even then.
He needs sterile conditions, focus. He consciously tries to see Shirvan not as the sword of Perun, the emperor, but just as an injured man.
The source says that was the only way he could focus.
Yes, to maintain that clinical detachment, needed to get the arrow out properly. He even uses techniques he taught his students, like cultivating an unruffled mien, a calm exterior. He's thinking about Moravius on cataracts, apparently.
Trying to stay in that medical headspace.
Exactly, and he pulls it off, he gets the arrow out, but the danger isn't over. Not even close.
Because Shirvan wasn't just passively lying there.
Not at all. Shirvan, recovering, reveals he was completely aware the whole time, and he drops a bombshell.
What is it?
He says he detected Fijana's poison on the arrow shaft.
Poison? What kind?
It's known to cause this dark, uncontrollable rage, even through the sedatives they'd given him.
Okay, so it was an assassination attempt.
Definitely. But here's the truly chilling part. Shirvan admits he knew about the poison and deliberately let Rustem and the other doctors handle the poison shaft without warning them.
Wait, hold on. The king, while bleeding out, tested his doctors by letting them get exposed to poison.
That's the level of paranoia. It's the Bassanian way, apparently.
It's unbelievable calculation.
He was running multiple tests at once. Testing his doctor's skills, yes, but also setting a trap.
Trap for who?
For his family. His next move is the political masterstroke. He turns to his son, Prince Marash, who's right there.
Yeah.
And Shirvan says, very gravely, that the smell of the poison, the Fijana, it's still on Marash's hands.
Oh, implicating him directly.
Marash gets it instantly. Either he or someone very close to him handled the poisoned arrow. And in doing so, they unknowingly exposed the doctors. Shirvan used Rustem like a human poison detector.
To expose the betrayal within his own family.
Yeah.
Astounding.
So Rustem hasn't just saved the king, he's survived being essentially Exhibit A in a failed regicide plot.
The reward must be huge.
It is. Wealth, a big jump in caste status. But also a new mission. Just as dangerous, maybe more so.
What's that?
Shirvan sees Rustem's competence, his calmness under pressure, that observant nature.
The ability to see things clearly when everything's falling apart.
Right, so he commands Rustem to go to Sarantium, a difficult winter journey.
As what? A royal physician on exchange?
Officially, perhaps, but really as an observant physician. His task, gather intelligence for the King of Kings.
So he goes from healer to spy, just like that.
Instantly. And the stakes just went from personal survival to imperial espionage. Failure now means something entirely different.
This huge promotion, this opportunity, it must come at a personal cost too. The sources mention his family.
Yeah, the farewell scene is heartbreaking and really shows the different ways people react to this kind of upheaval.
How so?
His second wife, Jarita, she's completely matter-of-fact, sees the upside, the status, the money. She's already thinking about moving to the capital, Kabad.
Okay, pragmatic.
But his first wife, Khatun, she's inconsolable, a storm of grief, terrified by the danger, maybe unable to process the sudden change in fortune as anything other than loss.
She sees the risk, not the reward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's his son, Shasky, quiet kid. He just whispers, I don't want you to go, you know.
Oof. That hits hard.
That's what gets Rustem, that simple fear. His ambition is realized, but his family feels fractured, terrified.
And Rustem leaving triggers something else too, doesn't it? Something unexpected involving the fortress commander.
Yes, Vinaj, the commander at Karakak. He feels a bit abandoned by the court himself, despite his loyalty.
So he feels some sympathy for Rustem's situation.
Partly that, a sense of injustice, maybe. But also, he sees something in the boy, Shasky.
The quiet son.
Yeah. Vinaj becomes convinced Shasky might be a dreamer, someone touched by their deity, the Lady Anahita.
A dreamer. What does that mean in Bassania? Is that like a prophet?
It suggests someone with, maybe prophetic insight, or at least highly intuitive. It's a serious spiritual designation, not just folklore.
So protecting the boy becomes almost a religious duty, not just kindness.
Precisely. Seeing Shasky as potentially special, maybe spiritually valuable, Vanash makes a decision.
What does he do?
He assigns some of his own soldiers to escort Rustem's family, Khatun, Jarita, Shasky, and the baby, Isa, out of Bassania.
Towards Sarantium.
Towards Sarantium, a kind of desperate military-escorted flight into safer, though unknown, territory.
So Rustem heads towards danger as a spy, and his family follows, driven by this mix of political fallout and, well, spiritual belief.
Incredible. Okay, so while Rustem and his family are making these separate, really dangerous winter journeys, they're heading towards a place that's the polar opposite of Bassanid's rigid world.
Absolutely, Sarantium. And right now, Sarantium is all about one thing, visually at least, the Great Sanctuary, that massive project Valerius II started.
It's dominating everything physically, spiritually, economically.
And way up high, literally defining the skyline, is Crispin, the lead mosaicist. He's from Rhodes.
What's he working on up there?
He's on the main dome, overseeing this huge depiction of the god Jad, looking down on the city as it sprawls below him.
The sources make him sound like he wants to be up there, away from people.
Very much so. They talk about his chosen estrangement. He prefers the scaffold, the height, the solitude, the pure intellectual puzzle of the curved surface.
It's his refuge.
It's a sanctuary, you could say,
Yeah.
away from the endless, cynical political games happening on the ground far below. And there's this lovely little detail, isn't there, about how the final design for that huge Jad figure connects back to something much smaller.
Yes. It turns out the design was influenced by some early work Crispin did years ago. Restoration work, unheralded, in this tiny remote chapel in a place called Saradia.
He visited it on his way east originally.
Right. So the grandest, most visible imperial art piece in the world has this hidden debt to a quiet moment of craft in some forgotten corner.
It shows how real artistry echoes, I guess, regardless of fame or scale.
Exactly. That influence persists.
And speaking of artists on journeys, we meet Pardos, Crispin's former apprentice. He's also heading to Sarantium.
Yeah, Pardos is fleeing something ugly he saw back in Verina. A chapel desecrated, an Ante man killed someone carrying a forbidden sword.
His journey sounds pretty rough. Gives you a real sense of the Sarantine outer edges.
Oh, it's grim. The sources list the dangers. Dodgy characters looking to rob people, a nasty wine merchant trying to proposition him.
How does he handle that?
Pardos gives him a sharp rap on the back of the knees. Discourages him pretty effectively.
Good for him.
But yeah, he ends up huddling from wild dogs near plague-ridden walls outside Saradia. He even deliberately muddies his boots to look poorer, less worth robbing.
Constant low-level threat everywhere.
That's the periphery for you. But then, amidst all that, he has this moment of grace at that same little chapel in Saradia.
The one Crispin worked on.
The very same. Pardos recognizes his master's early style in the worn mosaics. And the local clerics there, they call themselves the Sleepless Ones. They see his reverence, his skill. He does some accidental restoration just by instinct.
They appreciate it.
Deeply. They treat him with respect, give him gifts for his onward journey, a good cloak, a metal sun disk.
So he arrives in Sarantium carrying signs of the hardship, but also these tokens of faith and connection.
Yeah, it's a nice contrast to the cynicism he's about to walk into.
Okay, so let's shift from quiet chapels to the hustle. Commerce, power, factions.
Yeah.
We meet Papio, director of the Imperial Glassworks.
Papio, right. He shows you the pecking order in Sarantine guilds.
Silk is number one, right?
Silk is always top. But mosaics, under Valerius II, with the Sanctuary Project, they're a very big deal.
And Papio's position lets him play both sides.
Skillfully, he handles the imperial work, gets free materials for the Sanctuary, which is huge. But he also runs lucrative private commissions, selling the expensive glass tiles, the tesserae, on the side.
He's making bank selling the same stuff Crispin needs for the dome.
Pretty much. It's a sweet deal.
But his real passion isn't glass, is it? It's the hippodrome. He's a massive green supporter.
Oh, completely. His status in the guild, his money, it's all tied up with his ability to subsidize the splendid greens. He's become a known patron.
His identity is tied to the faction.
Absolutely. You have to understand, the faction's blues and greens, they aren't just sports teams. They're political machines, religious groups, almost like paramilitary forces. They are the city's energy.
And Papio's personal ambition seems focused on one person within the Greens.
Shirin, the principal dancer for the Greens. She's a huge celebrity.
Known for being smart, observant, and her performances.
Moving, lithe, captivating. But also, the sources say, sometimes she did things that were comical, almost obscene.
A mix of high art and low brow the crowds loved.
Exactly. Pure Sarantine spectacle. And Papio, this stout, married businessman, he dreams of getting private meetings with her.
Shows how blurred the lines are, doesn't it? Business, politics, fame, desire.
All tangled up. And this is the glittering, volatile, slightly decadent world that Rustem, the Bassanian doctor spy, is about to step into.
And he couldn't be arriving at a more chaotic moment.
Yeah, his timing is dramatic. Because just as he's heading there, everything shifts. The external threats and the internal plotting finally collide.
Valerius II, the emperor, he's totally focused on his big Western invasion, isn't he? The Batiaran campaign?
Right.
That's his legacy project?
Completely distracted. And King Shirvan of Bassanid, he sees this. He sees the opportunity.
He takes it ruthlessly.
Announces Bassanid is breaking the Eternal Peace Treaty. It's a massive geopolitical shock.
What's his excuse?
Oh, some minor border incident near Asin. Very thin pretext. His armies immediately pour into the Sarantium northeast.
They take territory.
Quickly. Coliseum, Asin. They start marching on Eubulus.
This must throw Sarantium into chaos. Militarily.
It's devastating for Valerius's plans. He has to divert that huge army he'd gathered for the west. Shirvan has completely derailed his dream.
Sarantium is forced to pivot. Forget the west, survive the east.
The war is now official, declared by Bassanid. But honestly, the bigger danger is already inside the palace walls.
Right, the assassination plot. It centers on that tunnel, the secret one between the emperor and empress's palaces.
Exactly, beneath the imperial precinct. And Valerius II himself, he's a fascinating character. Obsessed with time, fears the end, the headlong rushing.
He thinks the sanctuary will save him. Or redeem him.
Redeem him, maybe. Be his expiation for past sins. Like that horrific riot years ago, 30,000 deaths over his tax policies.
And the irony is, the plotters are linked to that past.
Directly. You've got Lysippus, the former finance guy, hugely fat, hated for those taxes, now in exile.
And Leontes Styliane.
The blind brother of Styliane, she's the wife of Leontes, the top general. Leontes has been imprisoned on an island for years. Tried to kill Valerius I back in the day.
So old grudges, deep resentments, they're targeting the symbol of that power.
And the weapon they choose. It says everything about Sarantium politics.
Sarantium fire.
Sarantium fire. That terrifying liquid flame you can't put out with water. It's almost exclusively for high-profile political killings. A public warning. Pure terror tactic.
They plan to burn the emperor alive with it.
Horrific, but yes, make his end absolute and terrifying.
But it doesn't go quite like that, does it?
Not exactly. In the tunnel, Valerius II gets stabbed. From behind, dies instantly, still clutching the key to that secret door.
So the stabbing happens first. What about the fire?
Chaos erupts. Pertenius, Valerius' secretary, the historian, he actually stumbles onto the scene right after.
What does he see?
He witnesses two of the conspirators caught in their own trap, consumed by the Sarantium fire they brought. It just shows how volatile, how dangerous that stuff is. Kills indiscriminately.
So the emperor's dead. Instant power vacuum.
Filled with lightning speed by the ultimate insider opportunist, Leontes, the supreme strategos.
The top general. And his wife, Styliane, Lecanus' sister.
They move immediately. They need to distance themselves from the murder, fast.
How do they spin it?
They claim the assassination was solely the work of the Dalinois family, Lecanus and Lysippus. Old feud, they say, flaming their takeover as restoring order.
Convenient.
Very. And Leontes' justification to the nervous Senate, to the military leaders, it's chillingly simple. He just says,
yeah,
the army is here.
Wow, that's it. No appeals to law or bloodlines. Just brute fact.
The ultimate power play. And it works. The army backs him. The religious leaders fall in line. The Senate caves. They name him Emperor Valerius III.
A new emperor, just like that.
Okay.
And his first moves are all about the immediate crisis.
Absolutely. All dictated by the Bassanid invasion. He completely reverses course. That massive Western army immediately redirected north and east. Forget Batiara, forget Rhodius. It's all about stopping Shirvan now.
Valerius II's dream dies with him.
Instantly. But the shift isn't just military. It cuts right into the cultural, the spiritual heart of Sarantium. And it hits Crispin, the mosaicist, like a physical blow.
Because of the great sanctuary.
Yes. Valerius III's first major cultural decree is about the sanctuary, the very thing Valerius II poured everything into.
What did he order?
The immediate destruction and removal of all images of Jad and any other holy figures from the mosaics.
Why?
He declares them heresy, pagan idolatry. It's a violent swing toward a much more austere, maybe puritanical ideology, a complete rejection of the previous emperor's vision.
How does the artistic community react?
Yeah.
Crispin must be devastated.
Shattered, his life's work condemned. And Artabasos, the architect, the little guy who actually built the thing, he loses it, completely breaks down, starts screaming that Valerius III is destroying God's glory, the city's glory.
Oh no, that's dangerous.
Extremely. He keeps screaming until one of Crispin's own workers, Vargos, has to physically restrain him, drag him away before the new emperor orders him executed on the spot.
So the golden age of Sarantine art under Valerius II, it ends right there. Violently.
A brutal reminder of how quickly imperial favor and everything built on it can just vanish. #V, aftershocks and legacies.
Okay, so coup, war declared. These shocks must ripple through the whole city, especially somewhere like the Hippodrome.
Oh, absolutely. And the very day of the coup, the Hippodrome sees something incredible. The return of Scordius.
The glory of the blues, the famous charioteer. He'd been injured, right?
Severely. Stab wound, fractured ribs. From some earlier attack we don't get all the details on, but here's a key connection.
What's that?
He was treated, secretly, by Rustem.
Our Bassanian doctor. Before he even officially arrived.
Looks like it. Rustem's skills were already known in certain circles. Scortius's return is a miracle, really. And the Blues desperately need him back as a symbol, especially now.
But his return isn't exactly smooth. There's immediate personal drama.
Big time. In the procession area before the race even starts, he's confronted by Thenias Sistina.
Senator Bonos's wife. Scorchi has a long, intense affair with her, didn't he?
Destructive relationship, yeah. And she walks up to him, visibly holding a knife. She intends to kill him. Right there.
Wow. In public.
Well, semi-public. The procession atrium, but yeah. High drama. And who stops her? Not a guard.
Who then?
His greatest rival, Crescens, the top driver for the Greens. The man Scortius is literally about to race against.
Crescens intervenes. Why would he do that?
He steps in, twists her arm, the knife falls, and he says something amazing to her.
What?
No man who ever lived is worth what this would mean to you.
Protecting his rival's lover from herself.
It's this incredible moment of honor, maybe just clear-sightedness. Crescens recognizes she'd ruin her life over Scortius. He saves her, not Scortius.
That's a real counterpoint to the palace betrayals.
Absolutely. A different code operates here sometimes.
So, despite this, and the broken ribs, Scortius actually races.
He does. Takes the second chariot, supporting the young driver Taurus. He uses all his experience, leans way into the turns, uses that amazing lead horse servitor.
Died Taurus.
Yeah, into this brilliant, aggressive move that just edges out Crescens. A stunning victory.
The crowd must go wild.
Insane. But the adrenaline immediately spills over. The excitement of the win, plus the news filtering through Emperor dead, the Sanians invading.
It ignites.
A full-blown riot. Starts right on the track. Astorgus, a blue faction leader, actually attacks Crescens in front of everyone. 80,000 people watching.
And it spreads from there.
Into the streets, ends up killing about 3,000 people.
3,000, that's huge.
It is. But here's the chilling part. The sources tell us that even this massive loss of life, was later dismissed by the court historians as trivial.
Trivial. Compared to what?
Compared to the massive riot under Valerius II. It just shows you. In Sarantium, ordinary life is tragically cheap, unless you're wearing the purple.
And speaking of the purple, the new imperial couple, their partnership doesn't last long.
Not at all. Styliane, Leontes' wife, the new empress, she's immediately implicated in Valerius II's murder.
Well, her brother was a main conspirator, and her husband got the throne. It looks bad.
Very bad. And Leontes needs to look clean, fast, so she's swiftly convicted.
Complicity.
And the punishment, it's public, brutal.
Designed to be unforgettable and humiliating. They brand her on the face.
Brand her? With what?
A murderer's mark. The sources say a crude blade was used to cut the symbol right into the sign of the sun, the imperial symbol itself. Devastating.
And then exile.
Yeah, shipped off to an island prison. Leontes purges the crime by sacrificing the woman who helped him rise. Politics at its most ruthless. And her replacement is already waiting in the wings.
Calculated and ready. Gilo, the exiled queen of the Ante people. She'd been living in Sarantium, a refugee queen.
She sees her chance in the chaos.
Absolutely. She views herself very strategically, gets an audience with Leontes, the new Valerius III.
What does she offer him?
Herself, as a vital asset. She knows the West, Batyr, the place Leontes still secretly wants to conquer. She can help with diplomacy, maybe eventually the invasion.
She uses herself as a political tool.
Explicitly. The source says she views her own body as a piece in the game. Cold calculation.
That work?
Perfectly. She sleeps with Leontes, becomes the new Empress Giselle, Styliane is barely on the prison ship before Giselle takes her place.
Incredible speed. Now, circling back to Rustem, our Bassanian Dr. Sty arrives right in the middle of all this.
Yes. And discovers his family, his planned support system, isn't that they fled after him, remember, with Venetian soldiers.
So he's totally alone. A foreigner, an agent, in a city that's just had a coup and is heading to war. He needs leverage. Fast.
And he finds it. By using a past incident, he runs into Cleander Bonosus.
The senator's son. The reckless kid whose actions led to Rustem's servant, Nishik, being killed earlier.
The very same. Rustem doesn't let it go. He confronts Cleander's powerful father, Senator Plautus Bonosus.
What does he want? Money. Revenge.
Neither. He's thinking like a spy now. He coolly leverages the debt owed for Nishik's death.
A moral debt.
Yes, and uses it to secure not just a place to stay. The senator has to provide him lodging, but more importantly, an inn. An avenue into the senator's circle.
For gathering intelligence for King Shervin.
Exactly. He realizes holding the master of the Senate obligated to him is far more valuable than gold. He needs eyes and ears inside the halls of power.
That's smart. Ruthless, but smart. He's adapting quickly.
He has to. He's successfully embedded himself right at the top, ensuring Shervin gets his intel.
Okay, one last thread here. Crispin, the artist. His world has been turned upside down. What happens to him?
He decides to leave Sarantium. It's over for him there.
Yeah.
But before he sails west, he makes one last difficult visit. To Styliane, the exiled branded empress on her prison island.
Wow.
Why?
Whoa.
Maybe closure, maybe respect. The sources say despite the horrific scar, she's still regal. And she asks him for one final service.
What does she ask?
For a blade. Small, finely made. For suicide.
Her last act of control. To choose her own end.
Exactly. Refusing the slow degradation of exile. And Crispin, he complies. Gives it to her. A quiet, profound, tragic moment.
So Crispin leaves, sails home, westist. Does he take anything with him?
He takes the golden rose. Remember that? A gift from the previous empress, Alexandra.
Ah, yes. What does it symbolize for him, do you think?
Maybe enduring craft. Beauty that outlasts the political storms. Something fragile yet permanent.
He settles down, changes his life.
Yeah, settles far west in Esperana, changes his faith even, raises a family, eventually gives that golden rose to his daughter.
But he doesn't stop being an artist, does he? There's a final statement.
His partner, Martinian, finds it years later in a remote chapel way out in Battiara. 2 mosaics facing each other. Crispin's final word.
What do they show?
One wall, Leontes Valerius III and Empress Giselle. All golden, triumphant, the living rulers in their glory.
And the other wall?
That's the portrait of the dead and the exiled. Valerius II's court. You see Artabasos, the architect, Scortius, the charioteer, and, crucially, Leontes himself.
Leontes is on that wall, too.
Yes, but depicted as he was before the coup, as the strategos. By placing the current emperor among the fallen, Crispin is making a statement.
A coded judgment.
Absolutely. Asserting his own truth about who really held a meaning, whose legacy mattered to him. It suggests the coup's triumph was hollow, maybe? That the real Sarantium was the one swept away. The art becomes his hidden verdict.
Wow, what a journey. We followed a single poisoned arrow.
All the way to an imperial coup, a new war, a massive strategic reversal.
The destruction of great art, a deadly riot, empresses swapped out.
And it ends with a doctor surviving through shrewdness and an artist etching his judgment onto a hidden wall. The connections are just incredible.
It really highlights the sheer speed and complexity of change in that world, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and that constant tension between power that's so incredibly fleeting. Emperors rise, emperors fall, 3,000 people die in a riot deemed trivial.
And the search for something, anything that lasts. Something meaningful.
And often that meaning, that endurance, it isn't found in the emperor's grand decrees, it's in the smaller things.
Like Commander Vanash, protecting the boy Shasky because he saw something spiritual in him, valuing that over protocol.
Or Crescens, the rival charioteer, stepping in to save Thanias, an act of honor that cuts right across the political brain.
And the art itself, even destroyed, it has echoes.
Right. Crispin's early work influenced the dome, unknowingly leaving his mark. And that final mosaic in Battiara, it's like a time capsule.
Valerius II, I thought the sanctuary was his message to God. Crispin's message seems more subtle, coded for those who might understand centuries later.
The truth preserved, maybe, but hidden in plain sight.
Which leads us to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to think about. Sarantium, as we've seen it, is full of things that flicker and fade. Fires in the street, dreams of glory, life itself seems so fragile.
So in a world where power burns so bright but also burns out so fast, what really endures? What constitutes a true legacy?
Is it the golden rose, passed down through a family, symbolizing perhaps love, craft, continuity?
Or is it the coded truth in the mosaic? Bitter, maybe beautiful, definitely. Waiting patiently for someone to decipher its meaning across the centuries. What truly lasts?
Something to mull over.
Until next time, keep digging.